The Book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa. Although I should probably credit Bernardo Suarez because Suarez was very, very close to Pessoa, closer even than Alvaro de Campos, who Pessoa credited for Tabaqueria. They were both heteronyms, but Fernando Suarez was, so much like Pessoa that it's almost difficult to consider him an autonomous heteronym. Um, he's a semi heteronym, Pessoa wrote in the last year of his life, because his personality, although not my own, doesn't differ from my own, but is a mere mutilation of it. So there we go. And I should also make clear, I suppose, that this is a translation by Richard Zenith. Um, and it's from a book that I have here on my desk, and that's why you occasionally hear pages turning because I don't put it up. I kind of like the turning of pages. I know that it might be distracting to some people. I never edit them out. I rarely edit anything, actually. But then that's just the way I like to do things. Okay, so enough babbling. I'm feeling babbly today. We will continue with this audiobook for the Book of Disquiet, section 148. The perfect man, for the pagans, was the perfection of the man that exists. For Christians, the perfection of the man that does not exist, and for Buddhists, the perfection of no man existing. Nature is the difference between the soul and God. Everything stated or expressed by man is a note in the margin of a completely erased text. From what's in the note, we can extract the gist of what must have been in the text, but there's always a doubt, and the possible meanings are many. Section 149. Many people have defined man, and in general, they've defined him in contrast with animals. That's why definitions of man often take the form man is such and such animal, or man is an animal that. And then we're told that man is a sick animal, said Rousseau. And that's partly true. Man is a rational animal, says the church, and that's partly true. Man is a tool using animal, says Carlyle, and that's partly true. But these definitions, and others like them, are always somewhat off the mark. And the reason is quite simple. It's not easy to distinguish man from animals, for there's no reliable criterion for making the distinction. Human lives run their course with the same inherent unconsciousness as animals live. The same fundamental laws that rule animal instincts likewise rule human intelligence, which appears to be no more than an instinct in the formative stage, as unconscious as any instinct, and less perfect, since still not fully formed. All that exists comes from unreason, says the Greek anthology, and everything indeed comes from unreason. Since it deals only with dead numbers and empty formulas, mathematics can be perfectly logical, but the rest of science is no more than child's play at dusk, an attempt to catch birds' shadows and to stop the shadows of wind-blown grass. The funny thing is that while it's difficult to formulate a definition that truly distinguishes man from animals, it's easy to differentiate between the superior man and the common man. I've never forgotten that phrase from Haeckel, the biologist whom I read in the childhood of my intelligence. That period when we're attracted to popular science and writings that attack religion. The phrase is more or less the following: the distance between the superior man, a Kant or a Goethe, I believe he says, and the common man is much greater than the distance between the common man and the ape. I've never forgotten the phrase because it's true. Between me, whose rank is low among thinking men, and a farmer from Lourdes, there is undoubtedly a greater distance than between the farmer and, I won't say a monkey, but a cat or dog. None of us, from the cat on up to me, is really in charge of the life imposed on us or of the destiny we've been given. We are all equally derived from no one knows what. We're shadows of gestures performed by someone else, embodied effects, consequences that feel. But between me and the farmer, there's a difference of quality due to the presence in me of abstract thought and disinterested emotion, whereas between him and the cat, intellectually and psychologically, there is only a difference of degree. The superior man differs from the inferior man and his animal brothers by the simple trait of irony. Irony is the first sign that our consciousness has become conscious, and it passes through two stages. The one represented by Socrates, when he says, "All I know is that I know nothing," and the other represented by Sanchez, when he says, "I don't even know if I know nothing." In the first stage, we dogmatically doubt ourselves, and every superior man arrives there. In the second stage, we come to doubt not only ourselves, but also our own doubt. And few men have reached the point in the already so long yet short span of time that the human race has beheld the sun and night over the earth's variegated surface. To know oneself is to err. And the oracle that said, "Know thyself," proposed a task more difficult than the labors of Hercules and a riddle murkier than the Sphinx's. To consciously not know ourselves, that's the way. And so, conscientiously not know ourselves is the active task of irony. I know nothing greater, nor more worthy of the truly great man, than the patient and expressive analysis of the ways in which we don't know ourselves, the conscious recording of the unconsciousness of our conscious states, the metaphysics of autonomous shadows, the poetry of the twilight of disillusion. But something always eludes us, some analysis or other always gets muddled, and the truth, even if false, is always beyond the next corner. And this is what tires us, even more than life, when life tires us, and more than the knowledge and contemplation of life, which always tires us. I stand up from the chair where, propped distractedly against the table, I've entertained myself with the narration of these strange impressions. I stand up, propping my body on itself, and walk to the window, higher than the surrounding rooftops, and I watch the city going to sleep in a slow beginning of silence. The large and whitely white moon sadly clarifies the terrace differences in the buildings opposite. The moon seems to illuminate icily all the world's mystery. It seems to reveal everything, and everything is shadows with admixtures of faint light, false and unevenly absurd gaps, inconsistencies of the visible. There's no breeze, and the mystery seems to loom larger. I feel queasy in my abstract thought. I'll never write a page that sheds light on me, or that sheds light on anything. A wispy cloud hovers hazily over the moon, like a coverture. I'm ignorant, like these rooftops. I've failed, like all of nature.